todos ustedes, el autor de la banda sonora que nos ha acompañado en grandes momentos de nuestra existencia, Robert Smith. A pleasure to have you with us, man.
Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, I know that you've been here before when this wasn't totally finished.
Yeah, we've been to Valencia a few times over the last 25 or 30 years, but the last time we were here was, I think, 1996, and they just cleared this whole place ready. Part of it was built, most of it wasn't built. It was it's interesting to come back after 12 years and see it realised. It looks fantastic, actually, really good.
Yeah, and what have you prepared for MTV Winter, this event which has kicked off this year in Valencia?
Well, we're in the middle of a European tour that started about a month ago and ends in about 3 weeks' time. So we've been quietly playing sold-out shows to like 20,000 people across Europe. It's not newsworthy in the slightest. It's but I think they're the best shows that we've ever done, actually, in all the time that we've played. So the only special thing we've got tonight is the fact that it's an hour shorter than we normally play. Normally we have at least 3 hours, so we're all sitting in the dressing room going, what do we not play? You know, it's quite difficult because we appreciate doing something like this, that you want to play a certain number of recognised songs, just because it's got, you know, people across Europe would like to see it, and the crowd here will hopefully respond. But there's also a desire for us to play new songs. We're in a very strange position that we're playing new songs that aren't even released, so we barely know them. So we're going to see how many we can get away with tonight.
They're not released, but are the songs recorded?
Yes, we've finished about 32 songs for a new release, and I have until Easter Sunday to decide on the running order, and that's the kind of the cut-off point for to make the release date that we want, which is sometime in June for the American tour. It's interesting, actually, playing songs that no one really knows how they go. I mean, if we'd done it 10 years ago, we would go from city to city and no one would know. It would be the first time. But with things like YouTube and stuff, they're actually becoming really well-known Cure songs, even though the versions we're playing live are totally different to the album versions. So it's kind of odd, really, because I listened to the album versions last week, and I think the live versions are turning into better versions of songs, which often happens, but usually there's the definitive version is the album version. Everyone knows it, and they refer the live version to that. This is happening the other way around, so it'll be quite interesting what people make of the recorded versions, because we're probably going to add in another 5 or 6 new songs before we finish. So,
do we have a title for the new album?
There are quite a few titles, actually, so there isn't one particular title.
But for instance, anything you've warmed up to?
Not really, because even now, I'm not being funny, I don't know if it's going to be a double album with a very light CD and a very dark CD, or we're going to meld the two together and have one shorter single CD. I know it doesn't really matter so much nowadays, because with digital music it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of erasing that distinction, but it'll probably be the last Cure album that's made in this way, that kind of has a running order, because I know that most people don't even worry about the running order. It's just
well, but there are thousands of Cure fans who do.
Well, we do have a huge disenfranchised church around the world, but it's no, it matters to me. I suppose that's how I've always done it. To me, it's like dipping in and out of a short storybook as opposed to reading a novel. I mean, I like our albums to kind of read from beginning to end. So, depending on how it goes, there are 2 main contenders for the title. One has the number 13 in it, and the other doesn't. So, it's our 13th studio album, and the 13-13 idea is like 13 tracks on 2 CDs, but the one that's straight down the middle was nothing to do with 13. But I can't tell it, because I've got a feeling it'll end up as a single album, unfortunately.
How special is it for you to come to Valencia to perform in this place for MTV?
There has been a connection between. I mean, the Cure kind of benefited greatly from MTV starting up in the early 80s, and we embraced the idea of. To us, it's almost funny that we tried so hard to remain anonymous, to embrace video culture and go and make ourselves look stupid. It allowed us to develop as a group, and I think without that kind of music television, we probably wouldn't have done that. So we kind of owe a very strange debt to MTV, actually. It's the early development of the band. It's been strange from time to time to see how MTV itself has developed, and I don't always obviously think it's going in the right direction. But when something like tonight happens with From First to Last and him and us in front of people, and it's a free show and it's in somewhere like Valencia, then it kind of makes sense. So I'm looking forward to tonight's show as much as I am to any of the other shows on the tour.
Well, you'll be able to pay your debt tonight. Thank you very much, Robert Smith. Este ha sido Robert Smith de The Cure y dentro de poco le veremos en el escenario en MTV Winter. Thank you very much.